We are co-creating this event together. Toastmasters from all over the world. So MC Lucy Vanjiru, I hand the stage over to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Amber Katrina. Thank you very much. I just want to confirm from you, Amber, as a timer, will you be sharing the timing cards on your background just for the speakers to know where to look?
Green,
fantastic.
yellow,
okay, fantastic. So speakers, you can see the hand up. Just make sure that's where you look. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. From wherever it is that you're joining us in the world. Welcome to the second day of Begin with the End in Mind. We had a fantastic day yesterday, being the first day of Begin with the End in Mind. And this morning, this afternoon, this evening, we start with a bang because we want to end the year with fireworks, but kickstart the next with a bang. My name is Lucy Wanjiru. I am a Toastmaster based in Nairobi, Kenya, all the way in East Africa, and I will be your MC during this session. And so now what I want to know is where you're joining us from. Tell me in the chat, where is it that you're joining us from? What time is it? Do you have to whisper or do you have the freedom like me at 11 in the morning to make all the noise you can make? From where, oh, Kathy, I see you coming from Singapore. Warm welcome. Must be evening around 4 p.m. maybe. Lixian from Singapore. Fantastic. Good to see you. Where are you coming from, Richard? Ashley, Thomas, where are you joining us from? Yifi Cho. I want to know, Masin, I want to know where you're joining us from on the chat. I see them coming. Oh, yes, I see you, Thomas from Hungary. It's 10 a.m. Okay. Fantastic. A warm welcome to those who are still joining us. We are sharing in the chat where it is that we're joining this memorable meeting from. Nelly Ayodo from Kenya, Nairobi, Jacob from, I see Singapore, Amber from Italy, Masin from Poland. It's 10 in the morning. Okay, fantastic. Now, this day, this meeting, we're going to have a lot of fun. And we are going to have 5 wonderful speeches from wonderful Toastmasters who are here not just to share their story, not just to inspire us, but to also finish their year strong, finish on their pathways so that they can start the next year even stronger. And we all know we need those DCP goals for our clubs. We also need them for ourselves to set our own goals, because this is the whole point of this meeting. We are trying to support each other to finish strong, to start with a bang, and therefore to journey through our pathways. I see you, Claudia, from Rome, Italy. We shall have 3 speeches in the beginning, and then we shall have another 2 after a break. So before we begin, I'd like all the evaluators, if you're here, please make your way to the chat room and you will find there the agenda and the feedback forms. I'd like you to click on the link tree that is there and head on to the evaluation forms. I will introduce each of the speakers and the evaluators will only come in to give feedback. Now, this is a unique meeting because feedback is not going to be received just from the official evaluators. We are all going to be giving our speakers evaluation through the very same link, through the very link that you find in Linktree, and it should be on your chat now. Please be attentive, give our speakers feedback, because we all know that this is how we grow as Toastmasters. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for what is about to come? Are you ready? I want to know if you're ready. I wish we were in a room together, you know, then we could just have a good chat. So let me show me with your hands. Are you ready? I can see Amber has an interesting one. Yeah, I see Lixian with, yeah, and Masin. Flag those emojis. Let me see if you're ready. If you cannot share your video, be nice. Be nice to put a thumbs up. So as we know, we feel, oh, nice. Thank you, Nelly Ayodo, so that we feel encouraged and to know that there are other people in the room. And especially for the speakers who are about to take the stage. We're ready for our very first speaker. The very first speaker this morning is going to be evaluated by Toastmaster Dan Odero. And this is a call for him to run to the link tree to make sure he gets his evaluation form in good time so that he's able to give a wonderful evaluation. I want to tell you something about Kathy Tour before I tell you what it is that she's going to be telling us today. She is the current Vice President, Equities and Financial Products at UOB Kay Hian in Singapore, Malaysia. Kathy Tour joined Toastmasters in 2013 and is a member of multiple clubs. How do you do that? Multiple clubs, demanding job. She has been taking roles in the EXCO since 2014. Has never stopped, has never looked back. This is the true spirit of growth, challenging self, and the true spirit of Toastmasters. She has also served as the District Director, District 80. This is the year 2021-2022. She's a firm believer that mindset shapes attitude, and attitude determines altitude. I love that. She is a Toastmaster by choice, a leader by chance, and maybe she will tell us as this day she reflects on her path, what the journey has been. This will be a 10 to 12 minute speech, and we cannot wait to hear from you. The title of her speech is very interesting. Do you want to make any guesses? I know you've looked at the agenda. It's begin with the end in mind. Toastmasters and guests, kindly clap through those emojis, fly your love through the emojis, and help me welcome Toastmaster, DTM, Distinguished Toastmaster, Kathy Tour. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Lucy, and a great day to everyone who's online with me today. Now, as what Lucy has shared, well, I am a DTM. I'm a Toastmasters in District 80 in Singapore, and today I'm going to share with you my journey in Pathways. Now, for those who have seen me for the first time and hearing me for the first time, well, I came across Pathway because I am appointed as the Pathway Guide in Singapore. Back it was introduced in 2017. So my purpose of enrolling the path is not to help myself. It's more to help those clubs and members that I'm supposed to coach, to introduce them to Pathways learning experience, to help them navigate through Basecamp, and to help them to benefit from the whole experience. Because remember, this is something new to every one of us. I was still in the progress of earning my first DTM in the legacy program. So in my mind, my purpose in Pathways is not to polish up my skills, but to navigate through the entire program. Now, having said that, this is my first part, presentation mastery. I began my first speech back in 2017, October. It was 2 months after I first picked up this part. It took me 2 months before I delivered my first icebreaker speech. And here I am today, 6 years and 8 months later, to deliver my first completion speech for my first part. Why did I choose this occasion? Because it's a testimony of my growth, my entire Toastmasters journey. I've joined Toastmasters back in 2013, learning through the legacy program on how to improve on my communication skills and pick up leadership skills along the way. Pathways, presentation mastery. This is a path that helps you to hone the skills on the basic techniques of public speaking. Are there obstacles when I took on this path? Well, definitely, this being a new program and the path that I chose is actually in simplified Chinese, which means the materials that I receive is a translated version of the program that everyone else will be learning from. Translations, we may have some meanings that's lost during translation, and we have to decipher through that limited materials on what we can share with our members to help them navigate through the process. A lot of people feedback to me that pathways is too vague because there is no very precise or very detailed instruction on how we can really launch in preparation of our speeches. But that actually is a benefit and a plus point of this entire program because it gave you a free rein to decide and to really reflect on what you have done. Because remember, pathways is a reflection of experience. Sharing and learning through that reflection is what will take us forward, whether it is life outside of Toastmasters or our Toastmasters journey. It took me almost 6 years to realize that. I'm sorry to say that. Because all this while I've been caught up in the leadership journey and I didn't really stop to reflect back on my speeches. This is a no-no for all those Toastmasters out there because you have evaluators who give you very valuable feedback on the speeches on how we can improve ourselves, not just on communication, but also to the messages that we want to share with the audience. And with that purpose in mind, I came forward to you today to share with you my journey, beginning with the end in mind. Because for everything that we do, we have to have a purpose. And with my purpose of helping members to navigate through the pathways through Basecamp, I'm safely saying I've achieved that purpose. Because looking at the take-up rate on pathways enrollment in Mandarin-speaking divisions, well, I must say that I have accomplished my goal in helping members to navigate through the system. But what about myself? Have I accomplished the goal? Because every time we launch into a project, we have to go through that questionnaire, assess our skills before and after the speech review. How many of us really look back at that reflection and apply it to the next speech? Honestly, well, I can't say for honest that I actually diligently follow the feedback, because one feedback that always comes with it is I can speak with confidence, I can speak off the cuff, but I do not practice enough before the speech to deliver to the audience. And my message is not really that clear. But with the leadership journey and the speeches I delivered along the way, I learned to have a key message in mind when I deliver speeches. What is it that I want to tell the audience? What is it that I hope everyone will learn from it? And what I hope will be the action that audience will take after listening to my speech. And that is a key component that helps me to address speeches and to calm my nerves. Because speaking to audience, especially in Zoom, where you cannot really gauge the audience interaction when they keep their screen off. Because how do you decipher if your audience understand a message? You can't see anyone nodding their heads, you can't see any emojis, and you really have to really conduct this speech like how a TV presenter is doing, interacting with audience that they can't see. And that is how I convince myself that if I want to progress, I have to first convince myself of the purpose in mind, that end in mind. What do I want to achieve with this speech? My purpose is to see how far I've grown through this entire journey. As I was preparing this speech and reflecting on my journey, I came to realize that I have the privilege and the opportunities that not many Toastmasters can say they are able to encounter. After all, there's only 20 district directors, 20 members who have served as district directors in District 80 in our short history. So I would say I'm a very, very privileged group of members who have the honor to serve the district. And I have that benefit to learn from this leadership journey. You may say, what's there to share? I mean, if I have so much support, then what obstacles do I face? If I don't feel anxiety, what else can I share with members? I always remember my mentor had this comment about me when he first heard my speech. You know, you have great potential. If only you learn how to be scared. Because when you are worried about the outcome, when you are concerned about the results, then you put in greater efforts in your preparation and you have greater emphasis on the results. That would be beneficial to not only to the audience, but to your personal growth. And with that message in mind, I have to keep reminding myself, speech is not just about impromptu speaking. Anyone can do that. But what it matters is, what is the message that we can give to our audience? Can we motivate them? Can we inspire them? Well, to be frank, before we motivate anyone else, we have to first convince ourselves. We have to first motivate ourselves, inspire ourselves to continue on this journey to learn. I have to say that as I deliver speeches, the feedback I receive helped me in ways which I did not really comprehend until when I have the opportunity to reflect on all this feedback and see how I've improved. I deliver speeches without any aim, and now I learn to put in a key message into my very speeches. If there's anything that will help from my reflection in pathways in the life outside Toastmasters, well, I would say it was too obvious for my professional life, but it did help when I had a chance to experience major breakthrough in my personal life. Learning how to communicate with others, learning to put and have the empathy to forge a relationship, to grow the relationship, and to foster the relationship. Well, that experience working in a team helped me improve my personal life to a great extent, beyond my imagination. And this journey helped me to achieve things which seems to be a dream from my childhood. Taking opportunity to travel the world, really put forth my childhood dream in visiting Disneyland in the US when I attend the convention. So in all, pathways will lead you to many places beyond your imagination. And I would like to end this speech with a quote by Rob Bennett. Never stop dreaming, never stop believing, never give up, never stop trying, and never stop learning. Back to you, Toastmasters.
Well done. Thank you very much to the distinguished Toastmaster, Kathy for DTM. Yes, we have to make sure that we get that in. Thank you for sharing your journey in presentation mastering and taking 6 years to get here. It's been quite a journey, and I feel you. I feel you on. It's better to get the quality in than just to rush through something. You want to make sure you learn, and all this while you were leader, even as district director. But I have one quick question for you. It's been, you joined Toastmasters in 2013. You are in a very involving job. You're a Toastmaster and a member of many clubs at that. What does your balance look like? And I'm sure at home, you're a daughter. I don't know if you have children or not, but what does balance look like to you?
Well, I would say when I began the Toastmasters journey, I wasn't really looking at the department of balance in life because I was single and I was really putting a lot of energy into Toastmasters meetings, attending meetings every now and then when I'm available. But as I move along to the leadership journey and I learned from my teammates that there is a need to balance between life priorities, be it Toastmasters, professional, or even your personal life. But I never really look into balancing out my life in that department.
Right.
Yeah. So if you look at balance, I would say right now I'm cutting back on my Toastmasters meeting involvement so that I can really give better quality speeches in my clubs and also to really help them and help myself through this journey. Thank you. Clinical expressions.
Thank you so much. And yes, Richard, single is in past tense. She's taken now. You're too late. Single is in past tense. That was on the chat. Thank you so much for sharing and for the wisdom that you have shared. I also like that you talked about you have to inspire yourself, to be able to inspire others. I sometimes feel that when you inspire yourself and you go there, then others sort of feed into your fuel with their feedback and with when they share how it is that you impact them, whether it is in leadership, whether it's in the support that you give them. And I'm wondering to myself, those days when you're not feeling inspired from self, because we all know we have those days, and especially you as a leader for a long time. What is it that kept you coming back?
Well, I would say it is really the spirit of giving back and sharing the experience that we have gathered along the journey, because I have the privilege of learning with mentors who are really very into guiding up and coming Toastmasters and really to share experience. And through them, I get to really understand beyond Toastmasters. We have that four value in Toastmasters. But what I shared, what I've learned through my mentors is going beyond that. Having really great role models to look upon. These are the people who keep me inspired and to keep coming back to Toastmasters, because it's not just about serving the members.
Right.
It is really about bringing the excellence out of everyone. because we have
Oh,
all
yeah.
the potential to achieve greatness. Thank you.
I love that. Bringing the excellence from everyone, including self. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kathy Tor, DTM. Ladies and gentlemen, let's head on to the chat. There's a link tree, a link there. Please go to the evaluation form for our first speaker, DTM Kathy Tor. Kindly give her some feedback. Thank you so much. Another round of applause to you. Thank you for sharing your heart with us. And now a bit of a change to the agenda this day. I have to remember everybody's in a different time in the world. Is that we're going to have Toastmaster Magdalena come in next, and then we will move to Toastmaster Frida after Toastmaster Magdalena. And so on to our second speaker. Toastmaster Magdalena Sarah Ken is a Toastmaster, has been a Toastmaster for about 2 years now. Professionally, she's in purchasing, she's in the supply chain, and she's as a purchasing planner. Outside of work, Magdalena is a traveler. She's a fashion enthusiast, and I can tell. She's a sports lover. I think I can tell too. And she's constantly seeking new experiences and new adventures. Come and visit us in East Africa for some adventure. It's going to be fun. Toastmaster Magdalena is going to be evaluated by Toastmaster Thomas Molnar. Now, Toastmaster Magdalena is going to be speaking to us from the visionary communication pathway, and this is a level 5. This speech is going to be 5 to 7 minutes, and the title of her speech is Master Mentor. Master Mentor, Toastmaster Magdalena Sarah Ken. Toastmaster Magdalena Sarah Ken, Master Mentor. Over to you.
Hello, everyone. I hope you hear me well. If not, let me know. Okay. Mentor can help us develop faster and more efficiently. On the other hand, if we are a mentor, we can speed up our development and gain new skills as well. If you agree with this sentence, you can raise your hand. Okay. I have noticed a problem in my club and maybe many clubs in Poland, and maybe you also noticed this problem that there are people in Toastmasters which can be a mentor, which are experienced Toastmasters, and new members in which need support, mentors at the beginning, but we have lack of communication between them. This situation causes very negative consequence for both sides. This is limited development. And I started to thinking about it 2 months ago, what we can do. And 1 month ago, I started to be a master mentor in my club. And master mentor is someone who connects mentee with mentors. Today, I will share you what I did to improve mentoring in my club. My vision about mentoring. So first of all, I ask experienced member in my club, those who completed at least 3 levels of pathways, if they want to take this challenge to being a mentor. and I created a base of mentors in my club. After that, I started to interviewing our new members, and I wanted to know about their expectation, what their goals in Toastmasters. And if I had this knowledge about expectation of new members and have base of mentor, and I also asked them about their strengths, their professions, what they can offer other people. Based on that, I can connect mentor with mentees, and they can start to work together. At the beginning, I also sent to them the form. It is the same form, but I want to translate it to Polish as we have in Odyssey program, the self-development program. Who don't know what is Odyssey program? This is online mentoring program where we can find mentors from over the year. I'm sending this form because this is important to plan our development ahead of time. And then we can see if we are on track 1 year later, what we improved and what is still missing. These are 3 steps that are already applied. We had in our club mentee and mentors. Now I'm thinking about some improvements of this process. I'm thinking about mastermind for mentors, the place where mentors can share ideas, experience. Maybe they can share some tips for others. It will be inspirational place for mentors. And I want to connect with mentors once per month and try discuss about mentoring. Maybe you have some more experience with that process and you can share with me your experience or some tips. It will be very welcoming for me. Okay. To sum up, my solution includes 3 steps. The creation base of mentors, interviews with new members and know their expectations, and then connect mentors with mentees, and they need to fill the form to plan the development. I think this solution help mentees develop faster, and they can smooth achieve their goals, and as well mentors can achieve new level of their can start new career and gain new skills. I hope this speech inspires you, and if you have any question or something to add, please let me know via evaluation form. Thank you very much.
A round of applause for Magdalena. well done, and thank you for sharing your journey. And what an idea to have to mentor the whole club. I like that you've only been a Toastmaster for 2 years. That is quite inspirational. What drove you to feeling that there is a need for mentorship within the club, Magdalena?
When I joined to Toastmaster, I had a mentor for 2 months. Then my mentor left the club and I was alone. And I think it is good to take care on new members at the beginning. They really need supports. And in my club in Poland, I see that we had people which are really experienced, but they maybe don't know if they can be a mentor. So they need some motivation.
And what has been the reaction with starting? Is it something that has been received well in the club?
Yes, the reactions are really good.
Good.
People like my idea. Not everyone agreed to be a mentor, but most of people.
Right.
And now I'm really interested in what are the results.
Fantastic. One last question. I promise this is the last one, Magdalena. I know you are in supply chain, and I'm very interested to find out how you would say Toastmasters has impacted your professional life.
I also had speech about it, how Toastmasters impacted my life. I have a lot of online meetings in my job and as well in person, and because of Toastmasters, I feel more confident on this meeting at the beginning, and because I joined Toastmasters and I was really shy and introverted person, and after these 2 years, I'm more open, and online meetings are not so scary for me, and as well offline.
Fantastic. Thank you. I love that. And these are the stories that we need to tell as Toastmasters. Magdalena challenging herself to also come here to this meeting and speak English, which is not her first language. Our meeting is in Polish, no? The club, your club is it's in Polish. So going beyond borders to challenge self to growth. And this has been so inspirational. Let's send all the love to Magdalena. Thank you so much and well done. Let us head on to the evaluation form, which is in the link and chat. Yes, Ember.
Frida is here, so she can take the stage as well.
Good stuff. All right. So before we have Frida come in, let's all go to the chat. Let's all click that link and give Magdalena feedback on her speech. She has shared her journey on mentorship in her club in Poland. Well done. Our third speaker is Toastmaster Frida Winga. Frida is actually the Vice President of Education in her club. We call it the Business Dialogues here in Nairobi. She has over 2 decades of invaluable experience in leadership, entrepreneurship, peak performance, and enhanced productivity. Drawing upon a rich tapestry of experience from profit-driven, non-profit, faith-based and development organizations, Frida possesses the unique ability to design and deliver learning solutions and add significant value to clients. I attest to this because I know she runs passion to profit. What are you passionate about? How can we turn that into profit? Doing very well here in East Africa. Frida will this morning be speaking to us about women empowerment for global impact. A true champion for equality and women empowerment. This is in her innovative planning pathway. This is her second pathway, and the speech we're about to listen to is in level 4. This will be a 5 to 7 minute speech, and the title of her speech is Women Empowerment for Global Impact. This speech will be evaluated by Toastmaster Tamas Molnar. My apologies, earlier on I said that Tamas would be evaluating Magdalena, but then Paul will be evaluating Magdalena. So Toastmaster Frida Owinga, I see you're ready. Toastmaster Frida Owinga, Women Empowerment for Global Impact. Women Empowerment for Global Impact, Toastmaster Frida Owinga.
According to the World Economic Forum, it could take another 131 years to close the global gender gap. Can you imagine that? Not 1 year, not 2 years, 131 years. Will you be here? What will the world look like if you are here and we have closed the gender gap? Today, I'll take you through a journey of empowering women for global impact. Not just any women, because there's many kinds of women and they are all great, but today I'm taking you through a journey and an opportunity to empower women entrepreneurs for global impact wherever they are in the world. Why is this important? For us at We Connect International, a global nonprofit organization, this is important because number one, 85% of women make or influence over 85%. Women influence over 85% of consumer purchasing decisions. When something needs to be bought in the house, who is asked the question? When children want something, who do they run to for money? At least in Africa, they run to their mothers. So 85% of consumer purchasing decisions are made by women. 50% of women make up the world's population. So if we have gender equality, then we have 100% of the team playing, and our results are going to be better because we know it. Teamwork makes the dream work. If 50% of hands are on deck, then we are going to get 50% results, but we want 100% results. So we need to get the other 50% empowered and activated to perform like the rest of the world. Another reason why women empowerment is important is that 33% of women actually own all privately owned businesses. So, but the sad thing is that only 1%, can you imagine, 1% of corporate government spend globally goes to women-owned businesses. So when we empower women, we can change this number and we can drive more money into the hands of women. And like we say in Africa, when you empower a woman, you have empowered the whole village because a woman's money goes further. A woman's money helps her family, helps her community, helps extended families, and helps the entire community to thrive. So what are we doing about it at We Connect? Number one, we identify women-owned organizations, and a women-owned business is a business that is owned 51% by a woman, not just owned in paper by her signature, but also woman-led. She's making the decisions. She's on the driver's seat because she understands how to run a business. She understands the financial statements. She understands how to delegate, has the confidence to pitch and talk to investors, suppliers, her employees, and everyone else that she needs to speak to. The second part is training her, because nobody is perfect. Most of us go to school to get a job. Very few of us go to school to start a business. So we train them to understand how to run a profitable, sustainable business that will leave a legacy for her family and generations to come. And that is not enough, because the next thing we do, we certify them. And certification means that they have an assessor who assesses their business to ensure that the business is competitive, the business is compliant, and the business has a competent team to run a business in such a way that they can be plugged onto a corporate supply chain. Then finally, we connect them. We have over 135 member buyers, which are corporate organizations across the world that are ready and willing to support them to get orders so that more money goes into their hands to run their businesses. How has it been so far? Since 2009, we have 185 member buyers. A member buyer is a corporate organization that wants to, a corporate organization that is in supplier diversity and inclusion and is willing to support more women to access corporate bids. We have over 17,000 women-owned businesses across the world. In Africa, we are in Kenya, Nigeria, and South Africa. We are in Asia, we are in America, we are in Latin America, we are all over the world. And finally, we are in over 135 countries where we can support these women to connect to corporate member buyers, to connect to other women entrepreneurs so that they can work together through strategic partnerships to ensure that their businesses are growing, their businesses can scale, and their businesses can thrive. So how can you help us? Number one, you can spread the word. Raise awareness among women-owned businesses and corporations that WeConnect exists to connect them to increase the spend. Number two, support a woman-owned business by purchasing from her, by partnership. You can mentor her, or you can sponsor her certification. Finally, through corporate engagement, encourage your organization to join our network so that together we can close the gap from 131 years to maybe 50 years or less. Let's support the women and make the world go faster. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Frida Wing. 131 years? What? You're absolutely right. We will not be here. But hold on. No, it's not possible. No, it's not possible that we'll still be here. But beautiful ways that we can close that gap, bring it down to 50 years, to our lifetime. We will be here 50 years. We could see that gap close. Wonderful.
Absolutely.
It's amazing how we learn new things every day. I'm a woman, but I did not know it would take us 131 years to close that gap. And I'm very intrigued to find out what inspired you into this direction. How did you get yourself here, Frida?
In 2009, I relocated from America to Kenya, and I came back home after living abroad for 10 years, and people were asking me for work. And because you see, when you come back home as a diaspora and everybody thinks you have a lot of money, you can give them, or you are starting a business, you can connect them. I didn't have any of the two things. So I realized that all the people that were coming to me were educated, they had a talent, but they didn't have an opportunity to work. So I started helping them to figure out what is their passion and how can they turn it into a revenue generating opportunity. And as the years have gone by, this particular program, I support women in Africa, because originally we were working as small and medium enterprises, but this particular program with WeConnect, we are focusing on the women. It's my passion to help people discover who they are, what is their identity, how can they influence others and impact others with the same identity so that they can generate revenue, and together we end poverty.
Wow, I love that. I like that so very much. I see Amber just clapping hard. It's like, yeah, I hear you. I know you talked about here in Africa. It is, we run to the women, we run to our mothers when we want something. And I think it's really very much across the world. I commend you for this project. But I want to find out, what has been the impact so far? I mean, well, not really statistics per se, but have you seen women rise up? Have you seen men support this initiative? What has been your experience so far?
So far in Kenya, we have 10 corporate organizations that made a
Mhm.
commitment to increase their spend on women. And that has helped women to move from the regular small businesses that they get into to start doing bigger things. For instance, there's an organization that supports them to do logistics. They can drive trucks, they can do export from one country to another, do logistics. So you find that women are entering into businesses that, one, can employ more people and generate larger revenues, and businesses that can be scaled because of the training that the corporates provide them and us working together with them.
Okay, now I'm sitting here looking at Kathy, very engaged and willing to support, and I'm wondering, how does she connect? You know, how is she able to connect from all the way in Singapore? And I know you mentioned many other countries within the world, but how then are we able to plug in from where we are right now?
All right. I'm the regional director for Africa. We have a regional director in Singapore. Kathy, I put my email in the chat. You can email me and I'll connect you to Minnie. She's in Singapore. If you want to work with women in Asia or you want to work with women in Africa, I'll connect you with the appropriate regional director. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I see a lot of support coming in through the chat. I see guest Galal Zaki saying that I did a gender equity seal for 9 corporations in Jordan. Also was certified Cherry Blair Foundation mentor, helped 2 women entrepreneurs in Africa and 2 in India. Also, Tony Elumelu Foundation mentor. He has $100 million for entrepreneurs in Africa. Then put a number there. So let's jump on it. Thank you so much, Frida. Thank you for sparking something within us, because I really did not know, 131. Am I ignorant? I think that's ignorant. But yes, 100%. Let's work together to close that gap.
Thank you very much,
As usual, we have a link on the chat. Let's give Frida Owinga some feedback. We will get to listen to the formal feedback from Toastmaster Thomas when the time comes. Wow!
Thank you.
3 speeches later, power, power, power from women all through, right? Well done, Frida. I see that from the chat. Very informative. We had 3 speakers today. We had from Kathy when she was sharing her journey in Toastmasters. We did hear another one by Magdalena about mentorship and the gap she's closing within her club in Poland with mentorship. We've also heard from Frida speaking passionately about her purpose, closing the gap for accessibility and equality for women. And so now I would like to take any question that may be burning before I just jump to the first evaluator who's done Odero and shall be evaluating DTM Coffee Tour. Behind every great woman hides a man. That is absolutely true. The men are like, you didn't say much about us today. But I have something for you men. I am one woman who really understands the value of men here. And so if we do not have a question, allow me to invite the first bass or tenor that we're going to hear in this meeting. And this is going to be a gentleman by the name Toastmaster Dan Odero. Dan Odero is a life coach and a consultant, taking people to the next level. He's also a specialist in multi-level marketing. I know him as a hotelier, a Toastmaster, a competent communicator. Yes, this tells you he did not join Toastmasters 2 years ago. He's been through the legacy. The legacy curriculum, and now is in what we call now pathways, right? He's also an insurance sales advisor, and today he will be giving an evaluation to the distinguished Toastmaster, Kathy Tour. Toastmasters and guests, with flying emojis, help me welcome Toastmaster Dan Odero.
Thank you, Lucy. One thing I have had the privilege of is meeting Lucy in person, and the fire is just the same. I remember once we had met and we were doing a club. There was a new club that had begun because of her. I'd tried starting a corporate club over and over. It wasn't working. I'd gone to the top, and Lucy came and slid in, and the club began. And when we chatted that day, we chatted for, I think it was an hour or two. This is Lucy. Well done, Lucy. This meeting where Amber has brought people from all over the world, and we have had the opportunity to connect with Kathy Tour. Kathy, it is a privilege to meet you, and thank you for your sharing your experience in a heartwarming way. Yes, there are some challenges with pathways. People talked about pathways being difficult and not working with it. And then there's some people who rushed and have finished 10 parts. Some have finished 2 parts very quickly. But then you come and tell us it took you about 6 years to now start going back. And this brought out, what is the benefit? What is the benefit of pathways there? It's not a competitive race where we all run. We can sit back and reflect and benefit. Life happens. Leadership grows. You grow your leadership, became a DTM. Learned lessons there, which is brought out very well in your presentation. Thank you for that. Very nicely done. Because we can now relate. You are talking to us, not telling us what it is. We are talking to us, and we can relate with it. I can see people saying, yes, I'm going through the same journey. And there is hope for all of us. Places you could consider probably. At some points, you are a bit quiet, so I had to struggle to listen to you a little bit. So maybe raising your voice a little bit. Maybe it's a way you also bring people closer and pay more attention. I don't know. But also, if you raise your voice a little bit, probably you would get out more from it. So raise your voice as a point. That's only a consideration you could actually make. And then something maybe to work on. Challenge us. Challenge us. You say, I've gone through this. What is your challenge? We've done this. What is your challenge? Challenge us. Give us something to work on, something to grab at. What are the points? 2 points, maybe say this and this. Challenge us so that we leave. He listened to you saying, this is what I'll work on now. I have some direction. I begin then, but this is what a direction I have. So challenge us. Give us a point that you can actually challenge us. What are the things that you believe with your reflection are things that we could have in mind as we begin pathways? But thank you, Kathy. This has been brilliant. I've learned a lot. I have connected. I feel you. Back to you, Lucy.
Thank you very much. I thought I felt Kathy, but now I feel like you felt her more because you've been through legacy programs. So I think it's from that perspective. Thank you so much for your feedback, Toastmaster Dan Odero. A lot more feedback will be coming to you, Kathy, because we are all filling in that form online. Well done. Our second evaluator is going to be Paul, who is going to give Toastmaster Magdalena some feedback. Toastmaster Paul lives in Ireland, in Cork, Ireland. He is a father of 3 grown-up children and a grandfather of 4. Oh, wonderful. He lived and worked for 30 years in the UK, mainly as a management development consultant and trainer. Paul joined Toastmasters in 2015 and is currently the Vice President Education and immediate past president of Blarney Toastmasters, co-presenters of the Irish Talkers podcast. Oh, sorry, Blarney Toastmasters. He's also co-presenter, now this has to come out clearly, of the Irish Talkers podcast, known as a talk show for talkers. I love that because, yeah, we are talkers in Toastmasters. He's the member of Toastmasters for Go and One Country, One World. He has been a District 71 Division Director, not once, guys, but 2 times. Paul travels frequently in Toastmasters via Zoom and Teams and believes that Toastmaster is increasing his life expectancy. I want the same story for myself, Toastmaster Paul. Kindly take the stage and give us the evaluation for Toastmaster Magdalena.
My goodness, what a title. What a title to this speech. Master Mentor. That captured my interest immediately. And to you, Toastmasters, and especially to Magdalena, I think it's well worthwhile giving a lot of thought to the title of your speech and keeping it short so that people are able to pass it on to other people. I will now be able to tell others that I have heard a speech, Master Mentor. And that's a lot easier than a long one. So congratulations there, Magdalena, for a great choice. This was indeed a speech that was designed to provide us with education. And what an education we received. I felt it was an exercise in educational mastery. For example, if you're talking with other people about mentoring, one of the key things is to talk about what the goals are and what mentors can offer other people. And that focus, that very tight focus on the key questions that come up for mentors and for mentees ran all the way through the speech. Where can mentors share? These are questions which it is powerful to remind your audience of, so that the audience can take them back into their own clubs. Because this was a speech delivered by Magdalena in relation to her experience in her club, but she's talking to an audience whom she's capable of influencing to take things back to their club. And that struck me as being showing the strength of the speaker in their focus on the really key issues. So congratulations, Magdalena, on doing that. In terms of delivering the same speech next time to another group of people, there's very little you need to do. Your English is going to get better and better as time goes on. That is a natural development. And the more you practice it, the better you will get at it. But there is something that is within your control that you demonstrated once or twice during the speech, and that I'd like to suggest to you that you do it 3 and 4 and 5 times next time. And it is about making eye contact with the audience. So even though you were attracted by the looking at the audience in the screen, now I'm talking to you, Magdalena. I'm looking into your eyes, and I want you to listen to me. Use your eyes. They're very powerful. Back to you, general evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Paul. Wow, I also need to get some of the feedback and look straight into your eyes and say thank you for that evaluation. It's very tempting to look at your screen. It is true. Our third evaluator today is Toastmaster Tamas Molnar. Toastmaster Tamas is not only a father to two young ones, he's also an IT leader in a multinational company. He's been an active Toastmaster for 2.5 years and actually got very inspired after joining Toastmasters to start one at his workplace, IBM in Hungary, and now there's a club there. He has done many things in Toastmasters, including participating in contests, and is now the standing evaluation contest in the division level first runner-up. Toastmaster Tamas, with a round of applause from the rest of us and emojis flying, kindly take the floor and deliver your feedback to Toastmaster Frida Owinga.
Thank you, Lucy. We just saw already in this event how important to make sure women get access to power, can get express themselves and achieve success. We heard many good speeches, and then Frida pointed out how important mission they are working on. And that was one of the most strongest point of your speech, Frida, is the message itself and how you deliver that message. Your delivery was very clear. I would say very simple. It was direct. It was really, everyone could understand it clearly. And you were very confident in your delivery. One other thing that I think you excelled at was how you started your speech with the fact that was shocking for everyone, and then how you ended your speech with a clear call to action, which was easily understandable again and was really talking to us. What can you do? So beginning and end is always very important, and you did that really well. What you can improve, one thing is that I couldn't first understand, and you didn't really go into those details. How is this topic relevant? What's the context? How is this relevant to the today's meeting, let's say, to the Toastmasters journey? And I do find relevancy. I think this audience can benefit from your speech, but make sure when you deliver your speech, you give the context. Why did you come with this topic for this occasion? And the other are the slides. I think they were really, really nice. I love the animation. I will steal it or borrow your brilliance here. But in many cases, it spoiled what you will be talking about. There were a lot of content on it, and I already saw where you are going, what will be the end of your story on that slide. And I was reading in advance and didn't pay proper attention to you. So I would reduce the content on the slide, and also don't reveal everything in advance. So try to keep it mystery, let's say, so we listen to you, and then you can reveal the message on the slide. Very well delivered, great message. I really loved the simplicity, how you convey the message, small tweaks to the slide, and making sure that you set the context for ourselves. And it's really a fantastic speech. Thank you very much for sharing these great thoughts.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Tamas, for that wonderful feedback. A round of applause for all our evaluators. I'm waiting to see things just popping on my screen, you know, the balloons and everything to celebrate our evaluations. Yes, thank you, Kathy. Yes, thank you, Galal. I see the love. Thank you so much. Toastmasters and guests, today we do you that very favor that we are not even voting for the best speaker. We're not voting for the better evaluator. I think we would have had such a difficult time to pick who we felt was better in any of the areas, because the speeches today were very impactful, very inspiring, very personal. And that is always something I look forward to in Toastmasters meeting, connecting to people beyond what you see of them. The evaluations carried weight, and we thank all the evaluators for giving constructive feedback to all our speakers. This last session has been a lot of good days and tenors, and today is Father's Day. And these fathers are the ones who give birth to us. They are the ones who give us tough love in life so that we become who we are today. And so I'd like to take a moment to celebrate all the fathers, possibly the only grandfather in the room, Paul. A very happy Father's Day to all of you. So just sending all your wonderful happy Father's Day messages on the chat. I wish this was in a physical meeting. We would have maybe sung for you or something, but we really celebrate you as fathers. We see the struggles that you go through. We see how you fight for us as your daughters, as your sisters. And when we're trying to close this gap, we know that you are the ones who are at the forefront, supporting us in all this. So thank you very much to all the fathers in the house. And now with the guidance of Toastmaster Ember, we're going to take a coffee break. Not a very long one, a short one, because we still have two other speakers who will deliver their speeches. So Toastmaster Ember, how long should we take this break for?
We are a little bit behind on the schedule, but we can take a, let me just see. Yes, we can take a 10-minute coffee break.
10 minutes, okay.
And I will put the green up for now, and it will go yellow in 5 minutes, and then it will be red when it's time to come back, okay?
Okay, thank you very much. When we return, we have a speech by Toastmaster Paul O'Mahony. We have a speech by Toastmaster Dan Odero. So you do not want to not come back. In fact, if you just want to take a minute to get your glass and come back, let's banter, let's talk to each other, right?
Yes.
Let's get to know each other.
Yes.
10 minutes is a long time for talkers.
Yes.
Toastmasters who are talkers to let it just slide. So go and grab on your water, then come back. Let's talk to each other. And I can see Elios. Oh my gosh. I hope I get these names right. Elios, you are ready to say something to us. You are firing up with all those emojis. I'm just having fun seeing you here. Do you want to introduce yourself? Tell us where you're joining us from.
Hello, I'm from Indonesia, District 87, and yes, I'm listening to all of you here for the session 2 of the Begin with the End of in Mind. And yes, thank you, Lucy, for being the MC of the session 2. Your energy is so amazing. Hope to learn more from you. Back to you, Lucy.
Thank you so much. Where are you with your pathways? Perhaps you can share.
Oh, I'm in what we call it, PC and PM, Visionary Communication and
Visionary
Presentation
communication.
Mastery. Yes, in level 3.
All right,
I'm still
fantastic.
learning from all of the people here. That's why I'm coming. I'm
Yes.
new in Toastmaster.
Please stay on. Please stay on because you'll learn a lot more. Thank you very much for sharing. Thomas, you know, we're not just going to let you slide. You know, we saw those babies and we want to see them again. We want to hear them. I mean, congrats. Today is Father's Day, and what a day to have your children around you. And, you know, make sure that you feel appreciated. You're muted, just Mr. Thomas, and I see that girl is ready to speak to us.
Yes, my daughter really wants to interact with all of you.
Hi.
And my son is running around in the meantime.
Okay. Hello. Amazing. How do you say hello in the language that they speak?
Szia,
Seal?
szia.
Seal. Seal.
They are saying hi.
All right. Thank you so much, just Mr. Thomas. I see our guest Galal is ready to engage us. How are you, Galal Zaki?
Hi, thank you. Thank you for inviting me, Amber. It's always good to see you. Thank you. It's a very exciting session.
You are a guest here, meaning you're not yet a Toastmaster?
I'm Cairo Toastmasters. I'm 4 years old,
Oh, nice.
but I'm still in kindergarten. I won 76 table topic awards, but I only did my icebreaker, and I don't know. I really admire what was said about mentoring. I need somebody to mentor me and take me through the pathways.
All right, fantastic. You have got Amber right there and the rest of us. You
Yeah.
even have Magdalena herself. She's a pro at it by now.
Yeah.
Well
Thank you.
done. Thank you for joining in.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to say hello before Amber hits us with the yellow? Claudia? Yeah, Paul, you want to check your mic and something?
Well, no, I'm actually more bothered by my lighting. And I'm just wondering, what is the experience of seeing me on screen? Is it, am I dark, and is it
Not
very
at all.
distracting that you can't see my face clearly?
No, we see your face clearly. Do you want to stand in your position where you would like to stand, and we can confirm?
I'm going to stand for the speech.
I think that works. Amber, what do you think? I think it works just fine. We see your face.
Yes, we see you.
Yeah, I don't have
Yeah,
that.
that's great. That's okay, Paul. We can see you well.
We see you.
Hear loud and clear.
Very kind.
May-
Thank you. I'm actually.
May I say something? Paul, I've been watching you throughout the session, and you have a habit of opening your mouth like this all the time. I think maybe it has something to do with concentration. I can't hear very well, so I go like this.
Galal, are you suggesting that I should keep up this habit or I should discontinue it?
I'm suggesting that you become aware of it. Because you were the only person I was looking at. I wasn't even looking at the speakers. I was looking at your mouth to see why is it open this way.
Well, I tell you what, I'll come on your couch and we can have you can analyze me, help me to analyze it. Yes, a very important.
When you come to Egypt, I'll serve you breakfast in bed.
Well, the last time I was in Egypt, I had the most wonderful time, and I even ate pigeon in Cairo.
Oh. Wonderful. Thank you, guys. I mean,
thank you.
It's just wonderful to see people connect so freely and so wonderfully. We also have here represented from my district, District 114, our international speech champion, Toastmaster Chibole Andanje. She did an excellent job with her international speech, and you just might be seeing her at the international convention this year. Toastmaster Chibole, do you want to say hello to us?
Trust Lucy to put someone on the spot. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Yes, nice to be here. Amazing speeches, and I'm enjoying myself. Thank you, Lucy.
Thank you so much. And we obviously wish you the best. We hope to see you on the international stage. Let me hear from Claudia. Are you here or are you still going to get your coffee? Claudia, do you want to introduce yourself? Tell us where you're joining us from.
Dai, Claudia, ci sei? Claudia is brand new to Toastmasters.
Oh,
and she is in one of my Italian clubs.
right.
She is in it's a prospect club called Crescita Pro, which stands for professional growth.
Okay.
And she has just joined today. She is acting as a Zuma master here, participating in the event. And but this is actually her area of expertise because she does event planning at high level quality. So yes, it is a great pleasure to have her with us today. She was so ready to jump on this. I mean, she just signed up about a month ago. So yes, absolutely happy to have her here. Then she is also my mentee. Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Now I'm thinking it might actually be very interesting for us to share our contacts on the chat, be it email or our number, so that we can connect. You know, we want to come. I'd like to come to Italy for a meeting. I'd like to go to Hungary. I'd like to go to Poland. I'd like to go to, who else did we have here? To Cairo for a meeting. So maybe let's share Singapore for a meeting. So let's share our contacts in the chat because there wasn't a group for all of us to be in. Let's share our contacts in the chat, say which country we are coming from. And, you know, we always need role takers and we always need the diversity and to learn from one another. But before Ember hits us with the red card, Lixian, and you'll have to forgive my pronunciation of your names because I will be butchering them, but I'm learning. Lixian, I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation. Lishan. Okay, there we go. Lishan.
Maybe I'm learning Chinese, but I'm not very good at it.
Lishan, would you like to say hello to us? No? All right. Lishan is on a train and is not able to speak to us. Okay, and then Amber does the thing, slaps us with the red card. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second part of our meeting this day. Welcome back. I hope you're re-energized. You've had your coffee and water and something to keep you going. We're just starting our second and final session for this particular segment. We shall have another session later in the evening. Amber will tell us more about it. This did not start today. Begin with the end in mind is an idea that started yesterday. Amber and her team have done a phenomenal job bringing the world together to finish strong and start with a bang. So we're here completing our pathways, completing our projects so that we can close the year in style and start with new connections, right? So fantastic job to you, Amber. Thank you so much for even just for the idea. And I can only imagine the work behind the scenes to get so many people across the world represented in this meeting. This second segment is where we are going to have just two speakers. We will be hearing from Toastmaster Paul who has already delivered an evaluation but is coming back with a speech. We will also get to hear from Toastmaster Dan Odero, who has also delivered an evaluation but is coming back with a speech. Our first speaker in this segment is going to be Toastmaster Paul. Paul, are you ready? And Toastmaster Paul is going to be evaluated by Toastmaster Nelly Ayodo. But we're all here to support each other. So there is a link on the chat where you can give each of the speakers an evaluation. The same will be shared with them by Amber so that we can support each other in growth. Toastmaster Paul is going to be presenting a speech in the motivational strategies pathway. This is going to be a 5 to 7 minute speech, and we'll have questions and answers. So please, when he asks for the questions, be nice. Make sure he's able to finish within time and ask him a question because he's looking for questions in the Q&A session. Toastmaster Paul, if you are ready, the title of your speech is Mentoring Mystery. Toastmaster Paul O'Mahony, Mentoring Mystery, Toastmaster Paul O'Mahony. Over to you.
Have you ever had the sensation that you have received quite enough advice? Think back over your life and think of the number of times you have received advice from your parents, from your teachers, from people at work, from your friends. Sometimes you just have had enough advice. Isn't that right? And I know something about you, and I can confirm this whenever we meet face to face, and it is that you wish many times that you had an opportunity to go away, think about the advice or forget about the advice, but get space for yourself to be on the receiving end of advice is a common experience. Today, I want to talk about the mentoring mystery experience. Now, mentoring is an adventure in empowerment. It's an adventure. There are so many unknowns when one person enters into a relationship with another in which they are going to mentor the other person. That's why I call it an adventure. Being an advisor to somebody is much more clear what's going to happen. It's a give, perhaps a take. I can explain a little about this adventure because when I joined Toastmasters, I was full of admiration for a woman called Sharon O'Neill. She was a fantastic speaker. She was a powerhouse as a leader. And when I joined my home club, Blarney, I looked up to her and I said to myself, oh my goodness, I need a mentor, but she would never mentor me. I'm not advanced enough for her to mentor me. I'm sure she's mentoring lots of other people, but I asked her and we met on a Sunday morning in a cafe. And I barely knew her except to admire her. We hadn't had many conversations together. We sat down, there was no rush. And we had a few little pleasantries at the beginning. And she said, well, what's going through your mind today? That was the very first serious question. What's going through your mind today? It wasn't, what are your goals in Toastmasters? How can I help you? It was broader than that. It allowed me to paint my own picture. And what came out in the conversation was that I wanted to be a better speaker. I had two disabilities. One was that I was used to being a trainer, and trainers pause for rather a long time while they let their words sink in. When you're a speaker, you need to have impetus and energy and keep going, because you can't just be waiting, looking into the eyes of your audience to see whether your words have sunk in. You have to in some way trust that your message is good enough to sink in. And that was my disability. I needed to speak more rapidly and more coherently and not wait for too long. But the second thing I had, and I explained this to Sharon, was that I'm a very sincere person. All of my speaking life had been about speaking with sincerity. Sincerity about how to develop yourself, sincerity about giving feedback. I was an interpersonal skills trainer. Sincerity about political ideas. But I wasn't any good at speaking in a light-hearted way. That's what I wanted. And what came up out of the blue in the conversation, I'm sure you can imagine it. One guy's saying to the other, oh, I'm too sincere for my own good. I can't keep the audience smiling. And but what came up was a phrase that changed my life. And it was from sincerity to levity. Levity, lightheartedness. And what a beautiful phrase that was. And it came up by accident in the conversation. I couldn't even tell you who first mentioned levity. And that's what I mean by a mystery, because that mysterious, unexplainable revelation gave me clarity about my direction. I was going from, if you like, A to B. Sincerity to levity. Now, of all the things that I experienced in Toastmasters, of all the advice I've received, of all the generous feedback that I've received, that single phrase, from sincerity to levity, has had most influence. When you start a mentoring relationship with somebody, this is where I'm getting to as the key point that I'd like to leave you with today. Begin with something that is broad enough to give the other person an opportunity to paint their picture, and be curious and use questions. And you never know what will come out. And you may very well change another person's life for the foreseeable future. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Paul. I completely forgot it was back to me. I was so drawn into ask the questions and I was starting to think about it. So let's get questions for Toastmaster Paul. Do we have some questions on his topic, mentoring mystery? There must be a question. You may raise your hand or just start to speak. Eric Kabuga, is that a sign that you have a question for Toastmaster Paul?
I would like to say that you just switched on the light bulb for me, Toastmaster Paul, because I'm the kind of person who says I am too sincere for my own good as well. I don't exactly say it that way, but I do tend to, like, my message does tend to be very, I have been labeled divisive because I talk about uncomfortable topics such as workplace bullying. And lots of times people don't want to hear that. They don't want to listen to that kind of discourse. Although I have seen that it is that the people who are looking for solutions, they really are drawn to that message. So the fact of bringing more levity to one's sincerity is absolutely most enlightening point of view for me. Thank you for that.
Just Mr. Paul, I have one question for you. You shared on your speech on mentoring mystery the challenge of coming from being a trainer to being a speaker, and therefore Sharon holding your hand to help you with that. And I'm just curious, what was the journey like? Did you feel yourself changing? Did you feel, because I feel like you really connected with us, which is more the trainer you were talking about, but you spoke very well and very clearly. At what point, if at all, did you feel the change that, yes, I am moving in the direction I wanted to go into?
I have nearly finished the engaging humor path, and I delayed doing that. I had completed 2 other paths before I even started that path, and I always avoided that path because I thought, well, look, I can do lots of other things, but I cannot engage people with humor. I'm okay in a group situation where I can bounce off what other people have said. It's even possible that I have got 1 or 2 laughs in the last 10 years. The work to achieve levity goes on and on with me. I listen to people who manage to get very serious messages across in a way that disarms the audience, in a way that draws the audience in through smiles, and it holds the audience's attention throughout by not going down a rabbit hole so that people are left perplexed or even confused. Simplicity I'm working on. I have a difficulty because I'm a poet and I like using a whole lot of various words. And you know, poets are like that. They like to play with words. And when you're speaking to an audience, you dare not play too much with words because, like, this is a multicultural group here. If I were to use, even using the word levity, I was not clear about to what extent would people know that word.
Right.
So that is distinguished Toastmaster Lucy, that is really where I'm at, a life journey towards levity. And I hope that I will leave the world leaving people with a smile on their face.
You actually left me with a laugh and a smile and a word for the day in the next meeting. So you're doing a lot more than you realize you're doing. So thank you very much for your speech. Thank you for sharing. And all the best in your journey. We're rooting for you. I mean, you're doing well. I'm here thinking you are the perfect speaker because you're able to connect. I could see you looking at us through the camera. You made the connection. You had the poses of your pace when you, anyway, I'm not your evaluator. So yeah, but you're very inspirational. So thank you very much. On to our next speaker, who is Toastmaster Dan Odero. We had introduced Dan Odero much earlier, and as he shared earlier, yes, we have met in person, and yes, he's just as charming as he appears, and yes, he always shows up, dressed up every single time, even on a Sunday, when we're all at home, he's there with a tie, ready to present his speech. Toastmaster Dan is going to be speaking for 20 to 25 minutes. This is a project in presentation mastery, and the title is Acres of Diamonds. Toastmaster Dan Odero, Acres of Diamonds, Acres of Diamonds, Toastmaster Dan Odero.
You are muted. You are muted.
You need to unmute, Dan. Sorry.
What is that one thing that you're looking for? That you desire so much that you go out and search for it. You go far and wide, you leave where you are to find it. You sell all that you have for your heart's desire. There was an essay by the founder of Temple University, Russell Cornwell, and he had got this title, Acres of Diamonds. There's a book in that, he actually wrote a book with this title. The center theme of that book was Acres of Diamonds, that you can find within your backyard, the thing that you're looking for most. The story goes, and he had the story in the Middle East in about 1870, where a gentleman, a farmer, heard about diamonds. The value of diamonds would change anyone's life. He left his farm, did not sell it, did not look for a buyer, left his farm to go in search of diamonds. Traverse the world looking for this sought after diamonds. Unfortunately, he was unsuccessful, and he ended up committing suicide, drowning himself. At times when we don't get what we want, we feel so lost, we lose hope. He drowned himself. Funnily enough, interestingly enough, the person who inherited his farm, Al-Hafid's farm, the person who inherited it did not buy it, inherited, found an empty sort of land left by someone looking for diamonds. The person who inherited it did a bit of digging and found the largest catch of diamonds known to humankind. The thing we desired most can be found in our backyards. Now you might be thinking, what does this have to do with Toastmasters? What does it have to do with us? What is it? Why is he talking about diamonds? All of us are searching for something to make our lives better, searching to for a relationship. Some of us are single. I wish I could find that man, that woman of my dreams, and then my life is sorted. Mr. Right, Mrs. Right. And we go searching out there. We do all kinds of things. We go onto sites, Tinder. Some of us might be looking, how can I get my career better? How can I improve my career? How can I get that raise that is so wanted? How can I get that standing in society where people look up to me? Where I can get a position, I can influence people. Where can I get that? I put it to you, fellow guests and Toastmasters. 100 years ago, Ralph Smedley found the thing that has made us, a lot of us, what we are. And many people have benefited tremendously, greatly. I have seen not one, not two, but several cases of people who were single finding their soul mate in Toastmasters. And I can give you a list of them who actually are very happy. No, it doesn't say in Toastmasters, if you're looking for a spouse, please come to Toastmasters. Oh, we're saying we're looking to improve our communication and leadership skills. Communication is the key to many things. If you can communicate well, then things happen. And this is many men, it's Father's Day, but we have to talk about the men. Many men are challenged in communicating. They don't speak. If only the man could speak better. If only he could touch our hearts. If only he could say what he's thinking. If only he could move us. Then you don't have to worry about finding the right person, because you open your mouth and gold slips out. And before you can ask the question, she's accepted. The job that you're searching for, people come looking for you. I have had cases over cases where people got into Toastmasters. In 3 months' time, they got promoted. Things began better. Because the thing they're searching for, the growth happens. Because Toastmasters, not only is it a teaching, a school, it is a practice. Many people offer classes of communication classes. There are many, you can go and find them. There's many courses which have been set. 2-week courses, 2-month courses, costing you an arm and a leg. But Toastmasters, if you are intentional, if you're intentional, and somebody told me this, he is the owner of a $1 billion organization in Kenya, a school, and he says that in 3 months, his family told him, you're better. You're a lot better. Your communication is better. He's a managing director. He's a person already in former place, but he says in 3 months' time, he was better. For me, I'll tell you, when I first joined Toastmasters back in 2010, at that time, Toastmasters in East Africa, we had 4 clubs. We were undistricted. Because in Toastmasters, you can actually, if you don't have a club, you can write to Toastmasters and ask them if you find them in this net. So we were 4 clubs. 2010, despite the fact that Toastmasters, there was a club in Toastmasters that had begun almost 1984. How many years ago? Over 20 years ago. There were only 4. Think about that. 4, that means 20. Each club has got about 20 members. 20, that's about 80 members in the whole of East Africa, where there are millions of people. 4 clubs. And then we had a mentor of mine came from the States, America, and started asking the question, why are there only 4 clubs? And this has been, and the class which I started in 19, what is happening? Why is that happening? And we began to think. He got us thinking. A few years later, 2017, we end up with 100 clubs in East Africa. One person can motivate people to change a situation that is going nowhere. When I got into Toastmasters not because I could not speak, because I was shy. No, my challenge was different. It's someone called, I don't like to say it very loudly, but don't tell anyone else, verbal diarrhea. Where you speak and speak and speak and people speak. And I said, when is it ending? And I remember one time I was called in by someone saying, please give me a proposal. And says, I hear you. Come and give me the proposal. I'll give you 5 minutes. That is putting me off. If someone says you, I only can give you 5 minutes, and I've got an important message to pass. 5 minutes? How do I start giving something in 5 minutes? And I have got thousands of ideas. Well, in Toastmasters, we found that the speeches are 5 to 7 minutes. So in 5 minutes, it says 5 minutes. Oh, thank you. That's better than a table topic. It's more than 1 to 2 minutes. 5 minutes. I can give you a whole jargon. I have a beginning. I have an introduction. I bring you into it. I get into the body. I close. I summarize. And I bring the point home. 5 minutes was good enough. And I found myself closing a deal in 5 minutes. But others who I found at that time, who had been there for 3-4 months trying to close the same deal, but in 5 minutes, I had it and put it in my pocket. A skill learned from Toastmasters. The value you find in Toastmasters is not so much of what it is itself, but it's what you can get out of it. The diamonds that you get out of it and put it into your real life situations. A curriculum program, pathways that you can take some project from your work. It gives you guidelines of how the project, so you implement what are the objectives, how does this work with what I'm working on. They give you guidelines, they give you a mentor. You know, sometimes when they give you exams, where I am from, when exams come, you're not supposed to open the book, you're supposed to remind you. There's no leakage. They call it leakage. Tell you what the exam is about. And then when you fail, you say, oops. In Toastmasters, they give you what you need to do. Tell you exactly what has to be done. Then they help you. You practice. Then you present and you pass. And you say, wow. With all the ideas that came in that you might not have thought about. From across the world, you can have mentors. People who tell you as it is, things that are important. Not because they like you, they are not afraid to tell you, give you feedback that is relevant and growing. In fact, they say one of the points of Toastmasters is the feedback we get. It makes champions because we get better. We hear things that someone might not tell us because they're our friend, but someone tells us because I'm just telling you objectively. I see you. This is what you would have done better. I would have done it this way. You pick up, you learn, you get better. And then somebody begins to ask, has he been born speaking from the womb? He's so eloquent. No, we learn. And I have seen one of the values of Toastmasters is I have seen cases of people who come shy, who are unsure of themselves, and end up being a ball of energy. They end up inspiring us. They end up creating so much value for us around the world, for themselves. They find the treasures that were back in their minds, they didn't want to voice them, but become realities. This is what Toastmasters has. It's an acre of diamonds, true to its form, in all areas. In the values we've done, over 100 years, curriculum has been tried and tested. Over 350,000 people have gone through the program. People have been touched by it. People have grown. Transitioning in life, when something ends, some people say, when my life ends, I'm retiring. What will I do? June is the month for mental health for men. This is an area where you can find that you can help them, people who have that challenge, because you get so much you work for. I have been told a story of a lady who was, her family says she's been sick. She's sickly and she's in bed. But when she's called for a Toastmasters meeting, you wouldn't believe that person is giving us. She's up and around. And she says, what happened? What is the tradition? Because there's so much to give back. There's so much to get from. And it's got nothing to do with, someone might say, people ask me sometimes, how much are you paid in Toastmasters? You keep on going. How much do they pay you to do the things you do? They pay us nothing. But the amount that you get when you go out there, because the people see the value I have of a Toastmaster is valuable, will pay you. People have had remunerations that boggle others' minds, because when they come out, he said, this person is such a valuable person, I can pay him whatever I want to pay. One lady back in Kenya got an opportunity to speak for 1 hour. 1 hour. A certain company said, come in, speak for 1 hour. They paid her an equivalent of $6,000 for 1 hour. 1 hour. A lot of people have gained have been paid so much for what's the value gain. Another case, someone went in for an interview. They were interviewing people, and the person came in and sat with a panel and said, I'm a Toastmaster. He said, you're a Toastmaster? They looked at each other, they consulted and said, well, if you have a Toastmaster here, there's no need for any more interview. Let us go. We found our candidate. Because this is a Toastmaster here. Why do we need to look further? Because the competencies you get, the skills, the EQ, you know how to deal with people. You know your skills. We run meetings, online meetings. I met Amber less than a month ago in a meeting that we met by chance in India, by chance. We communicated. I said, hey, we seem to be on the same page. We seem to be thinking alike. Please, let's get on to a meeting next day. She said, I've got this. I said, makes sense. This is what it says. We started organizing a meeting. Someone I have never met a month ago, and we begin speaking like we've known each other 3, 4, 5, 10 years. And we set a meeting that is running like this organized with people from all over the world, different time zones, working extremely well. We take it for granted what we have in Toastmasters because this cannot happen out in the world if you don't have what we have in Toastmasters. In Toastmasters, you can organize meetings almost on the spur of the moment. And they run well. We've got somebody timing. We've got message being taken in there. We have got contributions coming in. It's organized. It reminds me of a story of one of my mentees telling me that he joined in, the bank, we've got a lot of corporates coming and looking for us now because the bank said we need Toastmasters, and they had one bank in Kenya have 2 Toastmasters clubs. So this gentleman who became the president of the club says that he learned, I was mentoring him. He says he went out to a school meeting for his daughter. PTA meeting, Parents Teachers Association meeting, Zoom meeting. To put in Mali, it was chaotic. People talking there, someone there, shut that person up. The meeting wasn't running. They tried for an hour, nothing happened. They closed the meeting because they said this can't happen. It's too difficult to do. He sat in there and he laughed. And he says, Mr. Headmaster, can I talk to you for a minute? Can I maybe give some suggestions? They called him in and made him an advisor. Please come and help us run meetings because you need to know how these things are done. He looked like an expert, like an angel falling in there, all because he was a Toastmaster, and a Toastmaster for less than a year. We take it for granted that we run meetings and the meetings run well. Go out there and find people running meetings and they're wondering how do we run an organized meeting? We know we do it over and over again. We have a Toastmaster of the day who prepares. He's got people he works with. He doesn't do it alone. Meetings run so smoothly. We look so good. Visitors come in and they're awestruck and say, wow, these people are brilliant. What are they eating? How can we be part of them? How can we be some of them? It is a thing that we learn just by being a Toastmaster. And once you get in and you sit to learn and you begin to build relationships and you get better, you can't get yourself out of it any longer. You stick in. When I first joined, I was a member of one club. The 4 clubs there. I remember my one club that was meeting at lunchtime. It was called over noon to about 2. It was called Be Nairobi Toastmasters. There were 4 clubs. Sometimes we were being advised, go to another club, go to represent another club. I said, no, I am too afraid. No, we're so comfortable in our small, talking to a few people. That was what I was comfortable with. But look at now. Look at us now. We're going to different parts of the world. We have some people like Magdalena, who is not an English speaker, confident enough to speak out to the world. Wow. Where do you get this happening? How do you get people to get courageous, to get better, be confident enough to give value back? And it's not rocket science, it's just something we've been doing for the last 100 years. Some people were saying that Zoom will take away from relationships. We are on screen all the time, we don't bond. Let me tell you, when you find Toastmasters you meet here and you meet them in person, my goodness, it's like a long lost friend, cousin. You hug, you say, oh my goodness, this is so lovely to meet you. One friend of mine was traveling to Australia to take his daughter out to schooling there. He went to Australia. He arrived and he was told, "You're a Toastmaster. Come in. Forget about the hotel. Come and stay. We have got a place for you." Like he's a part of a family. Toastmaster Kathy, if you arrive in Nairobi, you'll be taken care of like a queen. And so no wonder, but who is she? That's our Toastmaster. And that is the bonding we get in Toastmasters. Our phone books explode to people we can call on, people we can learn from. Things you can learn not by reading in books, but by doing. This is the value we get into. This is the value we have. And we need to say it as much as possible. Every time we go out, tell people about what we have. This is the value. These are the acres of diamonds we have in Toastmasters. The learning, the bondings, the mentoring, the friendly atmosphere that we have, regardless of who you are, where you are coming from, what your needs are. This is the growth we have from Toastmasters. If we make the most of it, you'll be pleasantly surprised of what it can do for you. Some of my colleagues in a club in Kenya, two colleagues, a gentleman called Donald Bosiri and Agatha Juma, began an outfit where they called Engage, where people tell their stories. It has grown. They now do that. They have done it. They do it in Kenya many times. They've done it in Australia. They have been to the US, and it's growing where people come and give stories. People look out for it. Every time they open up a stage, every 3 months, it is talk about full. They're making something out of it. The idea came by being Toastmasters. Tell stories. I learned with this. Our lives are too short to know everything, to experience everything. We cannot experience everything in life. But when we connect with others, we hear their stories, we empathize with them. We learn what their desires are, their ideas are. We internalize them, we grow in a friendly atmosphere. There's so much we can get from it. Please do not leave this world, or today, do not leave today without telling somebody else about the acres of diamonds that we find in Toastmasters. Lucy, back to you.
Woo! A round of applause for you, Dan Odero. Today is Sunday. Ladies and gentlemen, your someone has been served. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Dan, for a wonderful speech. Acres of diamonds. You know, when you started that speech, I remembered my grandmother used to make us labor for free. She would tell us there is money in the farm. And we would dig and dig, and sometimes she would hide some coins. So when we find a coin, we'd be so excited, and we would dig and dig some more to try and find more money in the farm. Acres of diamonds, what a delivery. So inspirational. I saw somebody on the chat saying that they're not yet a Toastmaster, but they are a Rotarian and are inspired by a Toastmaster in Uganda. And now after these speeches, I am wondering just how long it will take you to join Toastmasters, because I feel like we need to send you the membership form right away with the payment details in dollars. Thank you so much to all our speakers for impeccable inspiration this day. Now, we're about to get into evaluations. We will have two evaluators, Toastmaster Nelly Ayodo and Toastmaster Thomas. Let's also head on to the chat. We'll find the link tree and give Toastmaster Dan Odero, Toastmaster Paul some feedback beyond what the evaluators are going to be sharing. How have they made you feel? Have they inspired you? Is your fire back on? Why did you join Toastmasters in the beginning? Let's have a chat on the chat box. Why did you join Toastmasters? I am waiting for 23 responses. Free food, I like that one. Can I visit? Free food, why did you join Toastmasters? I want to know. Just before we jump into the evaluations, I'm enjoying, the chat is vibrant, people are sharing, we are connecting, and we shall not be suffering in the new year with roll takers. We have a lot of people to call for support in our clubs. Amber to help victims of workplace bullying. Wonderful. Now they're coming fast and furious. I joined to find out about the Toastmaster method of developing people, lovely, to be a better communicator. First was really the food. Then it was the friendship. Fantastic. Yes, you're not the only one. To help the children in local schools to improve on interview skills. Meeting diamonds like you all. Yes, Manoj, absolutely agreed. To learn how to structure what I have to say for the highest impact. I love these reasons as to why you joined. To be or not to be. I was hoping to see, to find a spouse, something that was mentioned in one of the speeches. But really, it's interesting that the speeches today have summed up to the reason of moving away from self. Joining because you like the food for yourself, for the taste and for your stomach. Joining because you want to improve something for yourself. And throughout this meeting, it's moved to supporting others, to inspiring, to mentoring. This is just to show how much this acre of diamonds is worth. Soon it stops being about you and starts being about impacting others. Right? And that has been consistent from the beginning, from every speaker. It stopped being about them a long time ago. It started being about connection. It started being about purpose. It started being about empowering women. It started being about digging in these acres to help others realize the diamonds that Toastmasters has become. Even with Ralph Smedley, it didn't start with him. It started with young men not being able to be expressive, and therefore him coming to support them. So Toastmasters is truly acres of diamonds. Now, onto our evaluators. Our very first will be Toastmaster Nelly Ayodo, who is going to deliver an evaluation for Toastmaster Paul's speech. Toastmaster Nelly, if you can hear me, kindly unmute, turn on your video. We want to see you and deliver the evaluation.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Lucy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Well done, Paul, for delivering your speech on mentorship. Your speech was very motivational. I found it a mystery, mentoring mysteries. The title was very catchy, and it inspired me to listen more. What I loved most about your speech was your gestures. I liked your eye contact, and I liked your pace. And I liked that you used a story to enhance your message. You looked directly into the camera and you used your gestures to emphasize your message. Underscoring strong emotion and using your hands and fingers to emphasize your message. This was excellently done. Your gestures were well done because you returned your hands to the position, resting position, and this gave a bigger amplitude and it avoided distracting the audience. What I liked also was your eye contact. You stared directly into the camera and you gave your message. Your message was captivating and it gained credibility because you spoke about Sharon O'Neill mentoring you. You told us the story of how you went and you met her and the impact she left on you. You painted a very good picture. In fact, let me borrow your words. You said that Sharon asked you a question that has changed your life, and it would also change our lives. From sincerity to liberty. That was such a powerful message that you conveyed to all of us. It changed your life. It will also it has impacted me and has changed my life. All in all, I like that you began with a rhetoric question. I like your gestures. I liked your good eye contact. I liked your pace. Much as you mentioned that your pace, you're a trainer, but your pace was good. It helped us absorb your message. And I liked your storytelling. Back to you, Amber. Thank you very much.
A round of applause for Toastmaster Nelly Ayodo, who is a business strategist and has been a Toastmaster for 15 years. 15 years, having completed 2 pathways, and is just about to end her term as area director in one of the areas in District 114 and has finished with a strong President's Distinguished Status in the area. So well done and very much thanks to you, Nelly Ayodo. Our next evaluator is Toastmaster Tamas Molnar, who is going to evaluate Toastmaster Dan Odero's speech. Toastmaster Tamas, over to you.
Thank you, Lucy. What a motivational speech. Dan, I really admire your energy. A 20-minute speech with full of energy from beginning to end. Honestly, if I would need to do the same, I would probably collapse halfway to it. And this energy really kept you going and kept up the interest of us. This was, for me, really a motivational speech. It was from the beginning, continuously throwing different things towards us to make sure we are interested about your topic, to make sure we are becoming interested about Toastmasters, and we start investing our time in it. I mentioned the energy, and that energy was paired with great body language, with great vocal variety. I really like how you use the camera. You leaned into, in many cases, when you wanted to make a point. And I will run out of time, Amber, I tell you in advance, but it was a 20-minute speech, so probably it requires a little longer evaluation either. Vocal variety and the rhythm. You had a very dense, you were dancing with your voice. It was really a great rhythm, and you used pauses really well also. I like the structure of it was an interesting structure, I think. You had many great captivating stories built into the bigger speech, and those stories were always really interesting. I was always waiting for the next story to arrive because somehow I could connect to those the best. We know in Toastmasters that stories are always the best to connect to. And this at the same time made the story a little jumping back and forth. I felt that you told a lot of things. You had a lot of content for the 20 minutes. It was a little even too much for me. So you were jumping between different, as you were speaking, jumping to the next conclusion, jumping to the next message of yours and the next story. And my brain couldn't handle all of it all the time. So one thing that I think if you do, and I think in a 5 to 7, 10-minute speech, it's perfect. If you do a 20-minute speech, maybe what you can do on one hand is to bring in some interaction. I know it's very, very difficult online, but if you connect to the audience, if you ask them, you get some breathing time, and your audience needs to think, needs to consume what was heard, and then reflect back on it. So maybe this way you can make sure the audience can catch up with you and can connect to the, or can catch up with the story. The other thing that you can do also is to put some, because this was really a motivational speech, I think you could mix it with some practical advices. So what are the practical things that you do, others could do to get the most out of this Toastmaster? Because I think we here have probably a mixed people, some beginner in Toastmasters and probably some more advanced people in Toastmaster. So if you share your practical advices, you can make sure that you give some good value for everyone, because for the beginners, your advices will definitely come handy. While for advanced people, probably there are some experience that you have that others don't, so they can also get something out of it. And last, a small recommendation is, it was great that you brought the diamonds back at the end of the speech, but I think you could even bring the first story back a little more, because I think you built your beginning on that story about the backyard, and in the end you brought back the diamonds, but I think you could bring back more the original story, somehow relate to the backyard and that story more, the whole message that you delivered. Again, I admire your style. I will try to learn as much as possible from you, because really you have a very, very engaging communicational style. I think Toastmasters can be very happy that you joined Toastmasters back then, because I'm sure you provide a lot of value to many different people. And great motivational speech. If I need someone for such a speech, I would hire you, definitely. There are some opportunities to improve, to make sure that the message is delivered and still the people can digest so many information. Thank you, Dan. Thank you for this great speech.
Wow, thank you very much, Toastmaster Tomas. It's always interesting how you listen to a speech and you like it. Then when the evaluator speaks, it, yes, absolutely. But you had not you had not thought about it until somebody else says it. And that is the power of feedback. Thank you very much to all our evaluators. Now, we still need more feedback from you. And this is on the link in the chat. In addition to the evaluation you will give the speakers that spoke today, please go to the bottom and give the organizers a 360-degree feedback on this event. Did you enjoy it? Who did well? Who did not? You know, there's a whole series of questions that you can answer. We are not trying to make you think too hard. This is not an exam of 20 marks. No, we just want some feedback on how the event has been. And I know you're busy giving feedback, but I still need your attention. And I want to ask, who is a charter member? Who is here is a charter member, meaning when your club started, you were part of the 20 who started, 20 or more who started the club. You can raise up your hands. I see Kathy's hand is up. Amber's hand is up. Who is a charter member in any club that you are in? To say Nelia Yodo, Erika Buga, charter member. You were there when the club began. Fantastic. 4 people. I know Dan Odero is also a charter member in K Toastmasters. Thomas, fantastic. I see your hand up. Kathy chattered, Kathy and Friends Toastmasters Club. Okay, that's a good one. That's a brilliant idea. And I'm asking this because in his speech, Dan talked about the district in 114 not even being districted. And so if you're a charter member of any club, first of all, we salute you for staying on, because chartering is challenging, starting with all the baby steps, starting with all the challenges. The area directors and other mentors come in to tell you, no, you have been doing something wrong, and having to correct it. Chartering is tough, but you have stayed here and you've stayed true to it. And most of the people who have their hands up are also people who this day have shared the value of sharing their knowledge to others, because they've been through the journey and know the journey and want to share it with others. So when Dan was talking about the East Africa district being undistricted and the inspiration that they got from one Toastmaster that turned 4 clubs into many more and getting us to a place of charter, speaks to leadership. It speaks to the importance of sharing our stories and inspiring. It speaks to what came out so clearly today, which is mentorship, right from the beginning. It speaks to daring that Amber did with Dan Odero in a DM to organize a meeting with so many people from different parts of the world. It speaks to connections. It speaks to that acre of diamonds that we have. This day, I've been so privileged to run this meeting. And this is just about marking the end of this meeting. We shall have another session later on in the evening, but not before we present our certificates to all the people who graced us today. A certificate to Toastmaster Kathy, one to Magdalena Saraken, to Frida Owinga, to Paul Omahane, to Dan Odero for your speeches. Thank you for inspiring us, for sharing. More certificates to all our evaluators this day. Masin, okay, they're moving too fast now, but we have, this is the team, yes, including myself, to Lucy Wanjiro, to the Zoom masters, to the evaluators, to Amber, who organized the entire thing and put it together. I know behind the scenes, we have Claudia working really hard. We also have Masin, who are our Zoom masters. Amber was our timer. I was your MC, and we absolutely celebrate you. We thank you for coming here, for sharing your wisdom, for taking a lot of wisdom. Toastmasters from Dan Odero is a place where you come, experience, take, and transfer. So don't keep it to yourself. Transfer it to some other place. It has been a great honor to be your MC. Begin with the end in mind. Sometimes the road is not clear. Sometimes when you're starting to climb those stairs, you do not see the end clearly. But the trick is in beginning. And once you begin, you start to see the end. You start to churn out the path. You enjoy the journey, and it could take you farther than you ever imagined. Thank you so much. This was us ending the year with fireworks and starting the year that starts in July with a bang. It's been my pleasure. And now I hand this back to Toastmaster Amber Katrina.
Wow, wow, and wow to all of you. Most of you, I never had the chance to hear you speak before. And I am so grateful to each and every one of you for being so ready to jump in and play full out in this very sprint agile mode that we did. We just threw this thing together last minute for most of us here. So it has been an absolute honor and a pleasure. And really, kudos to each and every one of you, because you have demonstrated today your leadership. You have demonstrated today your capability beyond what you thought imaginable. Even yesterday, we had Pramatesh Borkotoki from Unicorns Voices. He delivered his very first workshop, and it was amazing. Actually, you never know who you are inspiring by the courage you take in taking a step to do something. Because there's one person who has been with us today who I asked him from the very beginning, would you please come and be part of this? And from the very beginning, he was like, no, I'm not going to do that. No, not me. And then just last week, actually, no, it was the beginning of this week, when he saw that Pramatesh was going to be giving a workshop, he calls me up out of nowhere, says, what? Pramatesh is giving the speech? No, I can't believe this. No, I have to be part of this too. And so he joined in and has been exploding. You never know who you will inspire. And the crazy thing is that this guy already has his own empire of Toastmasters. That is our dear MC for this afternoon, this evening for lots of you, this night for lots of you, E.T. from Malaysia. So you never know who you will inspire by your example. You could be saving the life of someone sometimes. So thank you all. And Lucy, wow, you have been such a magnificent MC for today. And you really ran this show like crazy, like nothing I've never seen before on such short notice. She has been amazing. Please, everyone, give her a huge hand. Wow. Thank you all. I hope for those of you it will be possible, you will be joining us in the session this afternoon, which is starting in about 5 hours. We are early finishing off. It's starting in 5 hours. We will have other amazing speakers, among who Sandra Savage from the States. And she is the main inspiration for this whole event. Why? Because when I saw how she does Pathways Your Way, where you come in and instead of starting with just delivering, my icebreaker, talking about, as Kathy was saying, not a real purpose there, but like delivering their different speeches on various topics without being really focused. She says, no, you look at your 5th level project and you use that pathway as your project management for your next goal. It could be for writing a book. It could be for changing a job. It could be for starting your own business anywhere. It could be for selling your business as well. If you are like, I want to be a serial entrepreneur and move on. So if you can join later on in 4 hours, it will be such a pleasure to have you again with us. By the way, we are still looking for a couple of evaluators for this evening, but otherwise. And now the meeting is officially over. Feel free to hang out and chit chat unless you have to go to sleep, go to have dinner, go have lunch or breakfast maybe. Thank you all once again.
Thank you. And one thing I forgot to say is that I know we have been busy, but the links to the meetings will be shared with us. So you'll get a chance to take your notes all over again. Go straight to what inspired you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Amber. Thank you very much to everybody. It has been a real privilege to have time with you today.
Thank you, Amber. Well done with this. Fantastic.
Are you in Roma and Amber? Are you in Roma or which city are you in?
Okay, I live in just south of Florence, Tuscany. Right now, I am down in Calabria. I will be going back home in about 2 weeks. Back home.
Oh, home is Tuscany.
Tuscany, yes. But for now, we're down in Calabria. I mean, Italy, you can travel Italy in pretty much one day if you are a crazy Schumacher in stilettos like I was. 24
Yeah,
hours.
I'm hearing some people saying, send us some wine from Italy. Oh, some vino and spaghetti.
When any of you comes to Florence, contact me. I will take you on a tour in the Tuscan region, places that most people don't go, most tourists don't see. And if it's summertime, yes, I will definitely take you to a place where you can get the most fabulous wine tasting that there is. So, Magdalena, kudos to you for this one too. Magdalena is also my mentee via Odyssey. By the way, if you do not know the Odyssey project, you can look it up. It's simply called Odyssey Project, and it is connecting mentors and mentees all over the world. Every month, you can either choose to stay with the same mentor or the same mentee, or else you can switch. So Marcin has been my Odyssey mentee for one whole month as well. We were meeting regularly every week. And this guy is absolutely fantastic. He's hiding out behind a screen. Come on, Marcin, show your face, please. There he is. This guy is incredible. He wants to talk about iffy things that some people, they're like, no, that's divisive. Freedom of speech. It's like, we're all here to become better speakers, right? So freedom of speech delivered appropriately, obviously, is so important to us. Kudos to you, Marcin. Thank you so much for being here today as well, for helping out.
It was a pleasure for me, Amber. Actually, I like help others.
Yes. We have a lot of very generous people here today. And I believe generosity is the true spirit of Toastmasters as well. So, yeah. Does anyone else have something to say? Nelly, please. I see your hand raised.
But before Nelly comes in, would you post on the chat the Odyssey something, whatever you're talking about for mentorship?
Oh, right.
Yeah, thanks.
Nelly, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I had a great time here. I've met good people here, and this is very encouraging. It's a good way for me to spend my Sunday late morning, and I'm appreciating everybody who was on this call. Thank you very much.
Is the name Gid or Jid?
Yeah, it's Gid.
Gid.
Am I audible and visible? Hello?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, morning. I heard you said you are in Calabria. Amber? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
I heard you said you are in Calabria.
Yes, I am.
Actually, I'm Gideon, and I'm here in Florence.
Oh, wow.
I'm a member of the Toastmaster Academy here in Florence.
Right, you came there. It's true. Yes.
Yes. So when I heard you said you are in Calabria, I was like, wow. How come? I don't know. So I had a wonderful time here this morning. I came in a bit late But yesterday I had to follow, I think I followed the whole program. It was wonderful. And I linked up with some of my colleagues in Nigeria who just signed up for a new Toastmasters club in the northeastern part of Nigeria. And about 20 of them are wonderfully charting a new club. And what you heard yesterday about pathways, I talked with one of them and he told me he was on and he followed the program, he followed the tips that we are giving, and he's going to use it as he's about to choose his pathway in the newly chartered Toastmasters Club in the northeastern part of Nigeria.
Wow.
So thank you very much for the work you do. And well, I'm in Florence, so whenever you come around, please.
Oh, yes.
I will need to take the vino because I'm a bit new here.
Okay, yes, we will organize a tour.
Good, 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 good. Thank you.
Thank you. And Magdalena, thank you for sharing that wonderful project of yours. We are definitely going to be staying in touch. Like our odyssey in mentorship has come to an end, although our friendship will never come to an end, but it's something that we really need to cooperate on, because one of the problems that we have noticed together, and I believe also many of you have noticed, is that there is a communication barrier between the languages. Also here in Italy, very many Toastmasters get discouraged and give up because they don't, like, they want to do their best as mentors, but there's the language barrier. They don't know English, and there is not enough material in English. So even though they become mentors, they themselves don't really know to find their ways. The people who know, who understand, are too few. We need more mentors, more people who can pass on these all of the information in the local languages. So that is something that I would invite everyone to think of doing. Start translating. Those of you who really know English, start translating the materials into your local languages. It is also, I believe, a distinguished Toastmasters projects to be working on these teams. I'm pretty new to Toastmasters myself, and as you have seen, I'm also a very horrible timer. I have to learn to be better at timing. Right. Amos, please.
Yeah, thank you, Amber. Toastmasters, I'm not a Toastmaster. I'm a Rotarian from
I am
Uganda.
sorry, we don't really hear you too well. Can you
hear me now?
The microphone is a little bit.
It's a bit muffled.
One of my clients. Okay. I think let me just go off Bluetooth first. I'm using a handheld device. I wonder, can you hear me now?
Yes, better.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Perfect. Yes.
Sorry, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Much better. Clear.
Okay. What I was saying, that for starters, I'm not a Toastmaster. I'm a Rotarian from the Rotary Club of Kira in Uganda. However, for years, I have friends who are Toastmasters, and they've been inspiring me to become a Toastmaster. One of them, the major one, is called Paul Kafma from the Toastmasters Club of Muyenga. And I don't know why I'm not a Toastmaster. But I just wanted to say that you've made my Sunday. I've enjoyed the evening. And I hope to join the meetings once again since I'm on the guest list. Thank you for my Sunday. Thank you. Bye.
Contact your Toastmaster friend. Help him join.
I can't hear a word.
Contact
I
your
can't hear what you're
Toastmaster
saying.
friend.
Sorry.
Okay, I will write to you.
Yeah.
Van der there is something that
Like yesterday.
disturbance on your side, the microphone. Right. Amos, can you hear me?
I'm struggling to hear you.
Yeah, I believe it's because of the audio on your cell phone.
I think my my speaker is gone off after putting off the Bluetooth.
Right. No problem. We will be in touch. Thank you. Dan, did you want to say something? You okay?
I'm good. No, that's okay. I was just trying. I was just saying you should join like yesterday.
Yes. Anyone else would like to say something before we close off? E.T., you are always laughing. That's what I love about this guy.
Hello. Yes. Do you need me, Amber?
Yes.
What should I say? It is still recording.
Yes, we
That's why
are.
I'm being quiet.
Okay, that's why you were talking after we switched off the recording. Okay, let's switch off the recording. There you go.